What a welcome sight back for Bulls basketball after getting decimated with so many guys entering the health and safety protocol. And with 2 games getting postponed, the Bulls resumed basketball activities for the first time yesterday. And in their first game today, they beat the LA Lakers at the United Center and was one of the more exciting games we have been able to see this season, with it really being a back and forth battle throughout this one. But the Lakers were not able to contain the king of the fourth quarter, the fourth quarter assassin, and DeMar DeRozan, who was able to close this one out in fashion, even without Zach Lavine, by putting up 19 points alone in the fourth quarter. So let's talk about it. So what's going on, everyone? You were listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. Can I just say that it feels so good to be sweeping these marquee teams like the Lakers, a team that always has been touted as a title contender, a team that gets so much national attention and recognition. And yes, they were shorthanded. They had a number of guys in the health and safety protocol as well. Obviously, Anthony Davis just recently went out with an injury that will sideline him for the next 4 to 6 weeks. But come on, the Bulls were also shorthanded too. Same thing with a lot of guys out due to the protocol, most notably our all-star in Zach Lavine, not to mention the fact that the Bulls basically were not able to do any basketball activities or even meet as a team for over a week in the middle of the season, while the Lakers have been able to maintain practices and games. But either way, the Bulls walk away with a win. They sweep the Lakers this season, which I can't even remember the last time that happened. It has to be at least a decade since probably the 62-win season with Rose. I probably should look that up, but I'm too hyped to talk about this game, so didn't have the time. So anyway, here's the thing about this game. What I was pretty surprised by, and I guess I should say pleasantly surprised by, was how much energy the Bulls showed out for this game. I kind of thought that with all of the guys still in protocol, a lot of guys who were in protocol but are now available, that they might be a little rusty, a little slow in getting their conditioning back up. But I was completely off in that thinking. They were a little rusty at times, sure, in terms of their flow on offense, as well as some bad missed assignments on defense, which I'll get into. But these guys were running up and down the floor like nothing to it, as if they had never gotten COVID. Javonte Green, are you kidding me? That guy was all over the place, especially on follow-through misses. He kind of struggled to finish on most possessions and made a couple boneheaded plays, but he made up for it with his hustle and effort that got the team and crowd going early. And like I said, the Bulls were a little rusty, a little sloppy in terms of their overall execution, especially in the first half. Like, the Lakers were playing very poorly, turning the ball over a ton, shooting the ball at a horrible rate, and yet the Bulls couldn't capitalize and start running away with the game. They kind of messed around a little, would make these great plays with good ball movement, and then couldn't finish at the rim and would miss open jumpers. Like, you look at the numbers and the stat sheet, and the Bulls did not shoot well in this game. They only shot 43% from the field, 33% from 3, only 20 assists, and they got out-rebounded in this game as well. Like, it's kind of no wonder the Lakers hung around throughout this game. However, the key difference being that the Bulls actually took care of the ball in this game, only turning the ball over 10 times and forced 19 turnovers from the Lakers. But look, we all know the real key difference in what led to the Bulls winning this game, and that was DeMar DeRozan. There were other guys that were huge contributors to this game as well, and I'll get into them, but DeRozan was the player of the game in this one. He remained relatively quiet for the first 3 quarters, although not that quiet, I should say, for him anyway. But he comes into the fourth quarter and sets the tone by scoring 9 points in the first 3 minutes of that quarter, before he takes a quick breather on the bench before he closes out the game. Of course, when he goes to the bench for that brief period, the Lakers go on a run and take a 5-point lead. And then when DeRozan comes back, he picks up right where he left off and starts balling, hitting ridiculous mid-range shot after mid-range shot. Granted, he did miss a couple pretty big ones that he probably shouldn't have taken because plays weren't set up at all, guys weren't in position to get a rebound, and yet somehow the Bulls were able to slap it away to get a second chance opportunity, which generally led to DeRozan getting to the foul line, which, by the way, is yet another factor that makes DeMar so great in his ability to get to the foul line, even with the new foul baiting rules in place in the NBA. He had a season-high 17 free throw attempts and made 16 of them. He shoots 11 for 24 from the field, puts up 4 rebounds and 6 assists to go with it, scores 38 points in total, 19 of which were in the fourth quarter. Again, all of this without having taken a single 3-point shot. They say he doesn't fit in today's NBA and was born in the wrong era of basketball. Nah, the guy can still get it done even without the outside game. Now, you also can't talk about this game without mentioning Alex Caruso. and how well he showed up tonight, and I'm not even talking about the great performance that he put on defense, scoring 17 points on 6 for 11 shooting and 9 rebounds. No, I'm more so talking about the fact that this dude had to guard LeBron James most of the night, a guy who has a good 4 inches and some 50 pounds on him, and he still managed to hold his own. Sure, LeBron still scored 31 points, but he also shot 1 for 7 from 3, turned the ball over 4 times, and committed 5 fouls. You won't notice this in the stat sheet because Caruso only had 1 steal this game, but his ability to disrupt the flow of offense for the Lakers, pester LeBron on the perimeter, is what helped the Bulls in landing a win in this one. Also, we finally got a good game from Nikola Vucevic. You know, we've had some people saying that this break that the Bulls have had will be a great one for a guy in particular like Nikola Vucevic, who can focus, clear his head, work on his shooting, and get out of his current slump. Well, Vucevic tonight did exactly that, coming out aggressive early. He still, misses those close shots in the restricted area that you really would think he'd be over by now. But in any event, he puts up 19 points and 13 rebounds, shoots 8 for 17 from the floor, and actually shot it well from outside, going 3 for 6. And then Lonzo Ball, not the same type of performance he had in LA when we played the Lakers, when he just absolutely lit up the Lakers from outside, but he still managed to finish the game with 19 points on 7 for 15 shooting, 4 rebounds and 4 assists. He did an excellent job guarding Westbrook tonight. Westbrook is so funny to me sometimes. Like, the guy acts like he's never scored before with the way he gets hyped when he hits a jump shot. But at the same time, I think he also had like 3 air balls tonight. He still had 20 points, but shot 9 for 19 and turned the ball over 6 times, in part because he was being guarded by one of the better defenders in the game in Lonzo Ball. Not really a ton to say about the Bulls bench tonight. I mean, obviously the Bulls are still shorthanded without Dosunmu, Troy Brown Jr., no Alize Johnson, no Matt Thomas. Derrick Jones Jr. only played 6 minutes as he's still getting his conditioning back up after exiting protocol. So that's why you saw a guy like McKinney get 17 minutes of play tonight. But I think 2 callouts from the bench tonight was that it was great to see Tony Bradley step in and make some good plays off the bench. He actually had 3 steals tonight in his 11 minutes of play. And then, of course, Coby White, who still looks a little rusty considering he still hasn't played much this season, now finally being back in the lineup after clearing protocol. And he missed some bad shots, but man, how about that incredible coast-to-coast dunk and transition that got the stadium on their feet? We saw plays like that from Kobe last year, but I don't think it was to the extent when he had 2 guys trailing him the whole way like that, and he still managed to throw it down. I hope we see more of that energy from Kobe as he starts to ramp up his play back up now that he's fully back and integrated into the lineup. Anyway, guys, this was a great win. It wasn't the prettiest because really the Lakers aren't that great of a team. They're without one of their best players. So you would expect that this would probably be a game that the Bulls maybe would have won a little more handily, but at the same time, the Bulls are going through their own health issues, and after missing so much action for an extended period of time, to have them come out and get a win in front of their hometown crowd and actually snapping a 2-game losing streak, and of course, to see DeRozan right back to form where he left off before he entered the health and safety protocol was just a thing of beauty to see, and exactly what we needed to see as Bulls fans. So the Bulls are right back at it tomorrow night, taking on the Rockets at the United Center. I'll have a live game chat for that game, as well as my weekly preview video out in the morning, so be on the lookout for that. Until then, guys, as always, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan, as I do post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.